Hello and welcome back to Road TRIpVIA, the once-a-day road trip trivia quiz. Today's episode is number 933. The category is Classic Television Westerns. This was sent in by Catherine K. You're no doubt familiar with her work. She also sent in famous movie couples from the golden age of cinema. She also sent in movie musicals and classic television comedies. So I have no doubt this one will be just as good as those. 21 questions. Good luck. Question number 1. This longest-running TV Western first aired on September 10, 1955 and was introduced by John Wayne, who was a friend of the lead actor James Arness. Marshall Dillon, along with saloon keeper Miss Kitty, Festus, and Doc Adams worked together for 20 years in Dodge City on what show? That classic television western was Gunsmoke. Question number 2. From 1956 to 58, we could see the legendary Chief Cochise and Indian agent Tom Jeffords working together to combat injustice. What show was based on a popular movie with the same name from 1950 starring James Stewart, Jeff Chandler, and Deborah Paget? The answer is Broken Arrow. Question number 3, starring Steve McQueen, this western was about bounty hunter Josh Randall and his pursuit of criminals, sometime in a very funny way. It ran from 1958 to 61 and was in competition with another show called Trackdown, which has the same premise. What was this show that made Steve McQueen cool? The answer is Wanted Dead or Alive. Question number 4. A fiery horse, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-ho silver started this show from 1949 through 1957. With his sidekick Tonto, played by Jay Silverheels, what masked man, played by Clayton Moore, came into homes each week righting wrongs? The answer is the Lone Ranger. Question number 5. Ward Bond and John McIntyre were in charge of this western, chronicling people moving from the East to Homestead in California after the Civil War. What was the name of this show that ran from 1957 to 1965 with many big-named stars as guests? The answer is Wagon Train. Question number 6. Based on a 1960 movie of the same name, this western is about a group of men who band together in a western town to protect its citizens from the lawlessness of the area. Robert Vaughn, who was in the 1960s movie, had a recurring role on what 1998 and 1999 television series? That show was called The Magnificent Seven. Question number 7. Gene Barry plays the title character, a well-dressed gambler and lawman who roams from town to town helping the unjustly accused, and of course the ladies, with his cane more so than his gun, and his wits. What was the name of this primetime show that ran from 1958 to 1961? The answer, Bat Masterson. Question number 8. A story of the Ponderosa Ranch and the Cartwright family who ran it. Pa, Adam, Hoss, and Little Joe were the main characters, with Hop Sing as their faithful servant who takes care of them all. What was the name of this series that ran from 1959 through 1973? The answer is Bonanza. Question number 9, named after the singing cowboy who made his name in movies and who also wrote Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Back in the Saddle Again, and other hits of the time. What series, running from 1950 to 1956, followed the cowboy and his sidekick Pat Buttram fighting for law and order in the West? That show was the Gene Autry Show. Question 10. Disney produced this next series about a California foppish nobleman who, with the aid of his mute manservant, protects their town from a corrupt alcalde. What show starred Guy Williams as the lead with Gene Sheldon as his servant and Henry Alvin as the inept Sergeant Garcia? The answer is Zorro. Question number 11. This real-life folk hero with his coonskin cap was born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free, raised in the woods so he knew every tree, king of the wild frontier. Originally aired on ABC in the 1950s, Fess Parker played the lead of what popular TV show? The answer is Davy Crockett. Question number 12. These three card shark brothers, Brett, Bart, and Beauregard, played on this show separately and together from 1957 to 62. What is the name of this Western with comic overtones that follows the brothers and the trouble that they get into playing poker in saloons and on riverboats? The answer is Maverick. Question 13. A twist on a Western was released in 1972 about a Shaolin monk whose only weapon are his martial arts and the teachings of his blind master. Starring David Carradine, what show originally ran for 3 seasons and the legend continued from 1993 to 1997? The answer, Kung Fu. Question 14. This Western, which ran for 7 seasons, made Clint Eastwood a star. This was the story of a group of cowboys on a continuous cattle drive, their adventures, and the characters they run into along the way. What was the name of this show? The name of that Western was Rawhide. Question 15. Following the adventures of the Barkley family on their ranch in San Joaquin Valley, California, and starring Barbara Stanwyck, Richard Long, Peter Breck, Linda Evans, and Lee Majors, what show ran from 1965 through 1969? The answer is The Big Valley. Question 16. This half-hour Western was about a Mexican quasi-hero and his sidekick Pancho, wanted for unspecified crimes. They were the West's version of Robin Hood, who fought corruption at all levels and were loved by the people. What series ran from 1950 to 54 and was reran into the 60s? The answer is The Cisco Kid. Question 17. This series, loosely based on the life of a true Western legend, ran from 1955 through 1961, starring Hugh O'Brian as this famed lawman, It also featured Douglas Fowley as Doc Holliday and Mason Allen Dinehart as Bat Masterson. What was the name of this show? The answer: The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp. Question 18. Another singing cowboy. This show included Dale Evans, Trigger, Bullet, Nellie Bell, and Pat Brady. Running from 1951 through 57, what was the title of the Saturday morning show set in the contemporary West, which kids of all ages enjoyed? The answer is The Roy Rogers Show. Question 19, something a little different. This show ran for 3 seasons and was about 2 former outlaws who try to stay out of trouble, but it always seems to find them. Originally starring Peter Dool and Ben Murphy, what show had Dool replaced by Roger Davis in 1972? The answer is Alias Smith and Jones. And question 20. The story of a gentlemanly gun-for-hire named Paladin who settled in San Francisco and waits for responses to his business card, which had a chess piece on it. In what show does Richard Boone play Paladin, and many known character actors, like Harry Carey Jr. and Roy Bancroft, appear as regulars? That show was Have Gun, Will Travel. Alright, that is it for today. Thank you again for watching this episode of Road TRIpVIA. Thank you very much to Catherine for another excellent quiz submission. I don't know what I'd do without you guys helping me out with some of these quiz. Actually, I know what would happen. There would be no trivia quizzes on Road TRIpVIA for a couple of weeks while I was getting packed up and moved. You guys are doing an excellent job of keeping this channel going. I promise once I settle down back into the States, I'm going to do it. I won't need nearly as much help, hopefully. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait. Until then, I'm going to be using a lot of these trivia quizzes that have been submitted. I still got some back in the register, and that of course is what the purpose of the Final 50 challenge. Catherine K., who wrote today's trivia, is already entered into the Random Trivia Final 50 challenge. So if you want to get in on that challenge, check out the video at the end of this episode. It'll take you there and show you the rules, everything that you need to know to submit a trivia quiz for this competition. I think we have, I don't remember if it's close to 25 or around 20. Depends on, I don't remember what the last time I counted. Either way, we're not quite at halfway. Plenty of time left to get one submitted. Just a 25 question random trivia quiz. Send it in. You'll get entered into the drawing to win $500 cash. Thank you again to Catherine K. Thanks everybody for watching. Here's question 21, the tiebreaker for classic TV westerns. And I think this is the only one that I remember sitting down and watching on television when I was a kid. So this is about the right age frame. I do remember watching this on Sunday afternoons. This series ran from 1993 through 1998 and starred Jane Seymour as Michaela, who, with her son, leaves her home in Boston and fights for acceptance in her chosen profession in 1890 Colorado. Joe Lando plays her love interest in what show where Chad Allen played her son? Once you've watched that show, you know Jane Seymour can't be anybody else other than Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. When you see her in movies like Wedding Crashers It's the complete opposite character. Very strange to see. I loved that show. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, is the answer. Thank you for watching. See you later tonight for Friday Night Pub Quiz.